Hey there guys, this is Dave from DC On Screen. I just wanted to let you know that DC On Screen is now officially a part of the 11th Annual People's Podcast Awards. If you would like to vote for DC On Screen, go to podcastawards.com, scroll to the bottom, and write us in on the TV and film ballot on the right-hand side. Then, on the left-hand side, put your name, your email address, then submit. Importantly, you can nominate up to 20 shows for different categories, but you could submit the nomination form only one time. Make sure you nominate all your favorite shows in their respective category. Once you hit submit, that's it. You're done for 2016. Can't go back, can't do it again. Settle in now for a brand new episode of DC On Screen. Welcome in to DC On Screen, episode 161. I am your host, David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
And today we are going to get super spoilery on The Flash 218 versus Zoom. To recap, the traumatizing past of Earth 2's Hunter Zolomon is revealed. Hunter, at a young age, is forced to watch his father, who is clearly suffering from PTSD, murder his mother. From there, he is put into custody of the state and eventually becomes a serial killer. When the particle accelerator of that Earth explodes, it coincides with shock therapy given to Zolomon, and Zolomon becomes Zoom. In Earth 1, Barry uses the tachyon device Wells made to become faster, and purportedly goes over to Supergirl for a minute, and then comes back and convinces Cisco to use his vibe powers to open another breach to find Zoom, which Cisco does. Mm-hmm. Of course, Zoom comes, and Barry traps him, except you can't cage the darkness. Zoom escapes, kidnaps the freshly moved-in Wally from the West home, and a deal then must be made. Barry's speed for Wally. The deal goes down, but Zoom almost kills Barry and takes Caitlin. Oh, also, Iris loves Barry. That's happening now.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
So, to get that out of the way, I am okay with Iris loving Barry. I mean, this is a dude who's like, oh, hey, I know you're feeling bad about moving on and stuff, but you met a good guy, so here's a video of Eddie telling you it's okay to move on. You know what? That was incredibly thoughtful, and she knows he's got a lot of shit going on, so of course, man. Of course she would. Plus, she's got all the stuff. Like, she was absolutely correct. Absolutely correct in saying that, there's a lot of Destiny stuff going on. They're married in Earth 2. They're married in the future, supposedly. It doesn't take that much to get most people to think about Destiny anyway.
Right.
Like, maybe I'm meant to be with that person. Yeah, you have nothing to back that up. She literally has stuff to back that up. She has several things backing that up.
Newspapers from the future backing that up. Most of the time it's just like, well, like our favorite song was about like a parrot, and I just saw like a parrot the other day when I met him, and I don't know, I just think...
Right.
I don't know if there's ever been a song about a parrot. It's probably a Jimmy Buffett song or something.
I mean, yeah, it's like, alternate universe, they're married. Come on, guys, of course, But, so I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. I'm kind of happier with that than, like, having her, like, date this dude, her editor or whatever.
Yeah.
I would just be like, he seems like an okay guy and all, but I really don't want to deal with this right now.
No,
I'm really hoping they just go ahead and... Honestly, the thing that, like, look, Iris has become a real character for me.
Yeah.
The only issue I'm dealing with as far as like her and Barry getting together is that they made Patty out to be such a great love interest and a great character. I liked Patty enough that I was willing to be like, screw Iris, who cares?
Right.
So,
yeah.
2 cents on that. I think we actually took about a minute longer to deal with it than they did in the episode.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
We do that with some things. So what do you say about like the darkest opening in Flash's history?
I was so down with it.
It was great, but I kind of turned it on, and it took me a minute to get out of that scene and go, oh, I'm watching Flash. Okay, I remember now. Wait, we're going to have some fun here, right? Right, eventually?
No, man, it felt fun from the get-go. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
No, I enjoyed the crap out of it. It's nothing like that. It's just, it was the darkest moment, I think, in Flash so far. Like that execution style in front of the kid.
Jay Greenwald on Twitter asks us, when did Zolomon have time to become a scientist?
I don't know. I mean, it looked like he had a few years between becoming Zoom and becoming he was already a serial killer, right? So then there's Zoom. He gets shocked. He escapes, I assume. He
I like to
didn't
think that,
just immediately shave and pop over the other universes. He kind of...
Right. I like to think that, like, he became Zoom and then, like, used his speed powers to read a whole bunch. Because we've seen that Barry does that.
Yeah, but
he,
they
like,
also said he
shit
had
really fast.
temporary knowledge when he did that. But that being said, doesn't mean that while
sort of.
he was being Jay, I mean, no, they said that he, in the show, he, like, reads the entire book and he says, okay, I've got this for about 30 minutes or whatever it was. I mean, it's fleeting. That doesn't mean that Jay can't just, as fast as he is while he was Jay, just reread those books like 5 times a day.
Right.
Just, hey, I'm going to go grab a glass of water. Run through the entire Library of Science real quick. Come back with a glass of water. Cool. All right, what were we doing?
Yeah.
I'm always smarter after a glass of water.
Yeah, I think there's some room. There's some room for him to know some stuff. I love the bit where, like, after Barry comes back, he's like talking about the tachyon device. He says, "Can't we get this thing smaller? It kind of sucks." And Wells just looks at him like you ungrateful dick and goes, "Well, if it sucks." That was brilliant.
Yeah. It's been the only downside to the Zoom stuff is it feels like we only get moments now of Kavanaugh. But then you get lines like this at the end of the episode where he's Zoom's kind of he's pretty much won at this point, right? And Wells tells him, "One day I'm going to knock that smug expression off your face." That's the kind of thing we got Sam Kavanaugh for, man.
That and wonderful exchanges like with Joe. He hands Joe a gun. Joe says, "How do you use it?" Wells goes, "You aim it. You pull the trigger." Joe goes, "Smart ass."
Right. Or the other way around. You got Joe saying, "I can't believe I'm saying this about a man I shot and punched in the face, but you should listen to him."
Yeah.
Which is generally true, as Madison pointed out. Harry's always right. Just about everything. All the time.
Unless it involves his daughter.
Yeah. And I think he's still just wrong about how smart she is. But we'll see. I assume she'll be back at some point to do something unjustified.
Oh, you gotta stop doing that. Oh, man. I have a question. How did they get cardboard cutouts, full body cardboard cutouts of Zoom's parents?
Not
Not even looking like, like from old photographs or something. It looks like they like posed for these pictures.
The thing is, how do they get the pictures at all? I mean, because a full size cutout. I mean, if there's still a Kinko's somewhere, you can knock that out. I have less problem with that. I am a little more confused about why they have the pictures at all. Where do they? I mean, I guess do they have access to like Earth 2 Polaroids somewhere?
I don't know. Do they? I mean, does Harrison have a device of some sort?
I mean, it's a really good watch he's got, but is that good? No, he gave the watch to Jesse anyway, didn't he?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I don't know where they got the photos, but
that was confusing.
Great plan, though, right?
I mean, kind of.
Oh, it was good, really good. I mean, you got to slow down the fastest man that's ever lived. As fast as Barry is, there's only so much he can do about that, and he just gets him to chase him right through this thing. Yeah, they pulled out all the stops for that, all their guns. They pulled out the pictures to really knock him off balance, and then that little leg trap thing that they keep using every now and then.
I wish I knew why how they got those pictures. That's gonna bother me for the rest of my life.
We're counting on you, Kreisberg. Help us out.
Right?
You haven't failed us yet.
That bothers me more than the dodgy time remnant stuff. Like, which, by the way, that's how Zoom killed himself. He used he convinced his own time remnant to die. Yep.
And I'm still saying, the man in the cage is still going to be the big mystery to get to at the end of the season.
Barry goes ahead and asks him outright, who's the man in the iron mask? And It's like, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Right.
That makes me feel like, I know that look, Berlanti just tweeted and said, we love Jay Garrick. We wouldn't actually make him a bad guy.
Right.
Keep watching. So it might be Jay Garrick. It might be the real Jay Garrick.
I think it's the real Jay Garrick. I really do. Well,
I would think that would be way more believable than, if we're sticking with you wouldn't believe me if I told you. Well, if he said, okay, I'll tell you, Jay Garrick, they'd be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You stole the dude's identity. Cool. But if he said Henry Allen, who's, by the way, actually really Barry Allen, clearly, there's a way I want this to go.
You still want that happening. And I don't blame you.
Absolutely, I want that happening.
I don't blame you.
Absolutely. We have a multiverse. Barry says the term multiverse in this episode.
He does. And there's at least 3 verses now, so he's got to go with multi.
And yes, he is an idiot, because you can't lock up the darkness.
Right.
You were way too confident.
It was a great a great plan, though, so I don't know.
It was a great plan until, he couldn't lock up the darkness.
Yeah, they still managed to underestimate him. Oh, a great line in there, though. Barry's so mad when he says it, too. We would have helped you. And you feel it. There's the heart the show has right there. Barry would have helped him. He would have stopped everything and tried to actually help him.
He would have.
I'm still all right with the guy in the mask, though. I think I said this theory a few episodes ago when they were over in Earth 2. But killing your own time remnant was actually a theory that we covered. I don't remember if we claimed it or if we had our stake in it, but it's one of the ones I was favoring. Anyway, I'm still thinking it's 3 different Jays or 3 different hunters in this case. Really, I wouldn't be surprised if it's still just present tense Zoom sends back past tense time remnant to get himself killed. And the reason he's able to do it is because he because he's got future version of the time remnant trapped in the cage, and he's threatening basically the rest of his future with his past. Mm-hmm. If that's still the same, if that's still just yet another Teddy Sears in that mask, won't surprise me one bit. And I'll bet at this point, I'll bet it is.
I hope it's not.
They love them some Teddy Sears.
What?
This show loves its Teddy Sears, man.
I don't blame him, because Teddy Sears is awesome.
Kind of is. That whole
this time remnant shit.
Everything, after he escapes and gets Wally, he does a great job in the scene where he's got the little leg trap on, but he escapes. He's got Wally, and by the way, the whole time I'm thinking Wally's in a cage. Wally's in a cage. I wonder if it was Wally this whole time. Nah, probably not. Yeah. You go back. They're still trying to figure shit out. Poor damn Joe, just beside himself. But at the very end here, when it is just Hunter's just explaining he's basically explaining what's been happening for this season, I guess. Man, I don't know. Teddy Sears does a great job with that shit. Mm-hmm. Wally looked so helpless too. He's just holding him by his lapel. Looked like one of the bad kids in a cartoon, just being held by their shirt.
It looked like how a mother holds her puppy.
Right.
Just by the scruff of his neck.
Right. It just feels like he was about to say, "I caught him breaking windows in my garage. What are you going to do about your boy?"
Joe's like, "It ain't my boy."
Right.
Dad.
And poor Caitlin. Poor damn Caitlin. And, the producers had said that. Was it the producers or the show had already said this, that the stuff he had with Caitlin was going to end up being a real thing?
The producers said that.
Was it the producers?
No, actually, no, it wasn't the producers. It was Teddy Sears himself.
It was Teddy Sears.
He said that his feelings for Caitlin were going to be real.
Well, they got to it in this episode, didn't they? I mean, you can tell as he's discussing things, when she calls him a monster, that's when he really hurts.
Yeah, there was that. But they haven't gotten really down into the nitty-gritty of it by any stretch.
No. God, just the last 7 minutes of this show, if I'd taken notes on that 7 minutes, the reason I didn't is because I was just wrapped up in it, and I didn't. There wasn't enough time, and I wasn't pressing pause on this thing. Just the last 7, 8 minutes, 10 really, or my notes would just be a copy of the script with "good" written at the bottom.
Right. There were a few points that bothered me.
Those pictures.
The pictures, and when did Zoom become a scientist was a little nagging, I'll say. But I was willing to give it to him.
I'm not gonna call him on that one.
Yeah, you know what I liked? I liked that. I really liked I've enjoyed the last few episodes, especially how they've integrated Wally into the show. And I liked that, Barry was like, dude, he doesn't want you to pay for anything. He wants you to offer him a place to live.
Yeah.
That was nice.
It was. And then he gets there and gets kidnapped.
Well, sure, because that's how that works.
Oh, and I thought someone was going to complain about, well, how do you know where Wally lives? It's Zoom. He probably searched the entire city.
Well, I mean, I think Zoom probably went to... I mean, he knows where they live. He knows where the Wests live.
I mean, yeah.
They live in the same house.
No, they absolutely do. But even if he didn't know where Wally lived or where any of that, he could literally search the city in a few minutes. I just thought it was going to be something somebody had a problem with in case they did.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that he went there not just for Wally. He's probably going there just for any damn body he could find.
Literally anybody. I just need a corpse. Come here. Anything that's still breathing and someone cares about. All right, you'll do.
Yeah.
You haven't been on screen for a lot this episode. Come here.
Absolutely. And I just realized this, but they kind of do the same thing in Flash this episode they did in Legends of Tomorrow.
What was
that? Someone goes and grabs some loved one and they make an exchange.
Yes. Your classic kidnapping.
Exchanges, y'all. Exchanges.
You know, when they're on the treadmill there, when Barry's on the did that hurt to watch a little bit for you? Because that kind of hurt to watch. Watching Barry get tired and human. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
it hurt. It was sad. What hurt more is that, like, I never bought it in the first place, but the whole the taking of Barry's speed and putting it in that little tube.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've accepted it this far. I'm going to continue to accept it, but I don't want to.
Wellesian science.
So dumb.
What are you going to do?
It's so dumb. so dumb. Like, yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm sure that's what it looks like. The Speed Force is lightning in a bottle. That's exactly what it is.
You know, it's not much better than the comics. Like, most of the time, when you see a picture of the Speed Force, it's just like a really good-looking lightning.
Oh, believe me, I know. I know.
It's only going to get so good. I'm just, yeah. I don't think this is any worse than anything you've ever seen that's dealt with the concept.
No. Still saying, though, it's real dumb.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
So how about, though, everything with Cisco?
Everything with Cisco was amazing.
Yeah.
I love that he's scared of becoming his own Darth Vader.
Isn't that great?
Or Anakin or whatever.
And I kind of was grimacing early in the episode when he was giving up over, and he was just kind of, he'd try for a second and couldn't do it and just kind of walk away. I'm sitting there going, it's not Cisco. What's going on? What's going on?
Mm-hmm. Now, I will say this. I'm tired of that trope where the character's like, well, I saw an evil version of myself in another timeline do this, so that must mean that the darkness is in me. Son of a bitch. You using a power does not make you evil. What will make you evil is the choices you make, you son of a bitch.
They get to that.
It's like in the old...
They get to that.
It's like in the Star Trek Nemesis thing, where it's like, Picard, this 65-year-old man, is, faced with the evil that his clone Shinzon has done. And he's like paralyzed in the narrative over this. Like, I don't know what decisions to make. I can't operate like I normally do, because maybe if I had been raised the way he had been, maybe it is nurture over nature. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm not a good person. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm like, damn it, Picard, you know this already. You understand basic psychology.
Right.
Like, I've heard enough speeches, wonderful speeches from you on Next Generation. I know that you understand that, you made decisions in your life. You were a piece of shit when you were in the academy. We know that, too. You were an asshole, and Nausicaa stabbed you in the heart for that sort of shit.
For being a dick.
You were rigging a game of Domjot. You were rigging a game of Domjot, you piece of shit. We've gone over all this.
Right.
Cisco, you understand this. You've watched Star Trek. I know you have.
And Star Wars, obviously.
It's the same kind of thing. Like, I don't know. I saw an evil version of myself, and now I can't live. I hate it. I hate that trope. I just do. And it always bugs me. Not saying that Carlos Valdez didn't do a wonderful job portraying it. And I do take a little bit of resentment, the fact that he was like, he went the Star Wars route with his analogy, but whatever.
Because he can do better. Is that it?
Yeah, he could do Star Trek.
Right.
Yeah,
the trope itself, I kind of feel you, but it to me, it's just a matter of how heavy-handed you are with it. And they didn't spend so much time on it this episode that bored. And importantly, it culminated in a great, like, we're more than friends, we're family speech with him and Barry.
Yeah. If I, were I in charge, like, I would have had him be like, well, I'm a little worried about doing it, but okay. Really? I thought after seeing your evil doppelganger, I figured you would have been a little more, reticent. Oh, no, that's a choice. No, let's do this. Okay.
Well,
I would have...
I think my favorite way that anyone's ever dealt with it is, say Cisco had not been so, like, maybe we'll let him be a little cautious, he's trying to get his courage up, because it's okay to be afraid of it, it's okay to wonder. But rather than just spending the whole episode dealing with it, like, let him do that and all, but just turn to Barry and say, if I go all Darth Vader, you put me down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, though, the shot of Hunter Zolomon becoming Zoom...
I'm not going to put you down. I'm going to put you in that prison. That's what's going to happen. Right. The prison that we have in the depths of Star Labs that we put everywhere? Yeah.
No, they ship them off somewhere else now, don't they? Didn't they?
I don't even know anymore.
Hold on. No, when they came over, Turtle. It's Argus. Argus has a facility now. That's when Diggle and his wife came over. I think that was part of what they did. They figured out.
Okay, cool.
I think it's empty, and then there's just like a turtle corpse.
I doubt that the turtle corpse is still there.
Well, what are you gonna do? Bury him?
Yeah, buried him out back.
What out back? They're in the middle of the city. There is a river next, or like a bay-looking lake area thing right next door. And just tied a few bricks to him and kicked him in there.
They buried him, they harried him, then they buried him again.
There you go. Damn shame. He had a cool power.
He had an okay power. I wouldn't want to see it more than one, and I wouldn't want to see it in more than one episode.
I could do one more next season, and then I'd be pretty much done on it. Cool power, though.
Yeah.
About another episode.
So, you got anything else?
Nah, I think I'm good.
It's a good episode for the most part. I am disappointed that he not once did he mention Supergirl.
That was my big disappointment, is you can tell while he's running back, you can see like a little blip. Mm-hmm. And I guess we're to assume that's what happened and when it happened, but I do resent not hearing anything about it. Oh, you know the biggest accomplishment of the episode, though, is you remember how pissed all of us were when Jay gets himself killed by getting all bad horror movie on the portal? Mm-hmm. I was holding out hope that would end up being extremely intentional, and that it was an intentional murder and a setup and like a communicated thing. Because, yeah, that was like the first time where we just all threw up our hands and went, what the hell, Flash Riders? You could do better than that. Yeah, they were doing better than that. Just hold on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
that was good.
I'm glad that was intentional, because they are so much better than that scene was when we first saw it. Looking back now, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Looking back. But not at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching you, Flash Riders. I'm watching you. I'm like, yeah, that's what we were hoping for.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it. Make sure you turn your cable box on. God.
You watch yourselves. We do. You keep watching us, too. You're not understanding.
Watch it on cable, then go watch it on Hulu after. It'd be great.
We have no idea what this is going to turn out to be. I don't know. We just write it, and then like a few months later, like a month later, it's on TV. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay then.
Glad we have an accord.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm real dumb. Thank you very much for listening to DC On Screen. You can find every episode on DCOnScreen.com. Be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, and wherever pods are caught. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. That's the other name I was looking for. We are proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network, GiantSizeTeamUp.com. Check out all the great shows over there on that network, including our sister show, the Marvel Cinematic Universe Podcast, hosted by our friends Matt Carroll and Jeff Randall. Our next episode, we'll be reviewing Legends of Tomorrow 112, Last Refuge. Until then, keep some DC on your screen.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Here's to choice, to making your voice be heard, to getting exactly what you want, especially when you eat. At Subway restaurants, you choose your freshly baked bread, meats, cheese, and veggies to make a sub that's just right for you. Come in and create yours today. Subway, eat fresh.